and peace to you all. My name is Umi. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. And in this video, we're going to be delving into your psychic abilities. A quick reminder, the month of February is the last month that I'll be doing sessions for an extended time. So if you have been interested in delving into your natal chart, discussing or learning a little bit more about numerology or talking about just personal things in your life, go ahead and take advantage of that. That information is in the description. So let's talk about your psychic abilities. Many people see psychic abilities as some form of a superpower because we're talking about extrasensory perception, kind of seeing beyond the veil of life, being able to predict things to come. And so for most people, our lives are written with uncertainty as far as what is going to happen in the future. And so people often seek out psychics, psychic mediums for that very reason. So we'll talk about some of the challenges and risks associated with heightening your psychic abilities. But first, just speaking on those of you who are interested in heightening your psychic ability, it's important that you know everyone on the planet to some extent has the ability as far as telepathic communication, as far as premonition. Your intuition can really reveal a lot. And for some people, they literally see this in the form of visions or clairaudience, meaning you could be doing something regular and then you hear something. Maybe it's a word or a sentence or a name, and that gives you some insight into a situation, a person, or things to come. So psychic abilities can manifest in different ways, but it's important that you fine-tune this ability and be careful what you ask for. I think for many people it's all fun and games until you start to see things you don't really want to see, or you hear things that make you feel uncomfortable or unsettled. And so therefore it can pose a real threat to people who are already mentally a bit unstable or even emotionally unstable, because it can become difficult to differentiate from what is you, of your own thoughts and manifestations, and what's coming from the collective unconscious. The 12th house in astrology is connected to the non-material world. It's basically connected to otherworldly projections and manifestations. So if you have planets in the 12th house, such as Pluto, such as your moon, such as Uranus, Neptune, if you have a water moon sign, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, then you are a lot more susceptible to psychic experiences, because water is very sensitive. If you were to drop a pebble in water, it would ripple. And so you typically, when you're out and about even, you feel vibrations coming off of people all the time. It's just a natural occurrence. And so for many of you, if you're not aware that you have certain psychic abilities, you will always assume the way you feel, whether it's highs or lows or what you're thinking, is of you. And it's important to understand that most of the time you're picking up on the collective unconscious. I found it very interesting when I did the video on sleep paralysis that quite a few people said this just happened to me, or this just happened last night. And it happened to me the night before, which is why I wanted to share it. And so we are connected psychically, especially if you have a water sign as your moon sign, and we're picking up on the collective debris. So it's not strange or bizarre that you share certain psychic experiences with other lunar water signs, or with people who have a lot of planets positioned in the 12th house. Now, when it comes to opening yourself up or exposing yourself to psychic phenomena, you want to make sure that you are doing certain energetic work to make sure that you are balanced and you are fully aware of your intentions when doing so. Oftentimes people want to know about their future as respects to just personal things that are really of a low nature. Just, you know, I took the bar exam, did I pass? Or are me and my boyfriend going to get married? Or will I get this car? And they just want to know things pertaining to the future as far as self-interest. So I'm not here to judge that. I just want to warn everyone that when people are channeling or communicating with ancestors, spirit guides, it's very important that you test the spirit behind that. When someone's giving you some information, test the spirit in that. When you receive some type of download or information or knowledge, test the spirit. How does this benefit me? Is it helping me to elevate in consciousness? Is it helping me to evolve, to mature spiritually? Is it helping me to refocus my agendas and my interests? So there should be some measure of checks and balances instead of just allowing things to flow in and you going off and you telling people or invading people's psychic space by telling them your visions. So that can be very dangerous. I definitely don't encourage anyone to do that. If you are someone who has certain visions or you see things, don't just share things with people if it wasn't warranted, if they didn't invite that information from you, because it can be unsettling to people to think that you're reading their mind or what you said could really be true. Because oftentimes there are inaccuracies. The 12th house is kind of like the internet of the psychic realm. So when you Google something, you may get 30, 40, 50,000 results. And likewise, you may get some visions and you can assume it's connected to a certain person or a certain event, when really a lot of what is leaking into your unconscious is connected to a host of different things or people. So if this is not a skill that you're developing or you're fine-tuning, I just don't advise people to volunteer information or volunteer what you're seeing if people did not ask for that. Something else to keep in mind to safeguard your energy is your diet. If you're trying to heighten your extrasensory perception, your psychic abilities, you cannot eat meat. And I know you're like, whatever, Umi, I like chicken. But if you are aware of how most animals are put down, it's typically in a very inhumane way. And people who are psychic are already sensitive to their environment. They're sensitive to what they put in their bodies. If you're that aware, you're going to be sensitive to certain things. And when you're eating meat, which is a dead animal, if the animal was slaughtered in an inhumane way, you will absolutely pick up on that frequency, and it can really leave you a bit lethargic, feeling heavy and dense, emotional, irritable. And so that's going to interfere with your psychic perception. Drugs and alcohol are an absolute no if you are trying to heighten your psychic abilities. So do what you want. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just suggesting for some of you who are interested and you're really serious about getting into healing and assisting others by understanding them and sensing what they're feeling, you don't want that frequency to be interrupted by narcotics and overindulgence in alcohol or even too much entertainment. Keep in mind, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. So if you're into a lot of TV shows and movies and entertainment, all of that is being filtered into your unconscious and subconscious mind. And so when you have certain visions, you can be misdirecting those visions in a way that's reflecting what you've been watching and indulging in versus what's just intuitively being presented for you to read. When it comes to your dreams and dream recall, I will say your sleep patterns and sleep position is very important. Oftentimes people who have a lot of planets in the 12th house, or even one or two planets in the 12th house, this can really interfere with your sleep. So if you have Mercury there, if you have Uranus there, you may find that your days and nights switch, where you are an insomniac and you get a lot of downloads of information and visions and, you know, sort of otherworldly experiences during the middle of the night. So you'll find that you're up during those hours, and then you could be a bit more restless or tired during the day. I will encourage many of you not to sleep with your head to the north. This is just associated with feng shui. You can do your own personal research as regards to that. But just be aware the earth has her magnetic field. There is a current that flows on Mother Earth, and therefore it can affect the human body, and to include our mind and our psyche. So by avoiding sleeping with your head to the north will be very useful. You can pull up a compass app and just check your home. I know for myself, this has been a practice for me for years, that I ensure my bed and my children's bed are not facing the north. So that may improve your sleep patterns, and it can also help to improve your dream state. So if you've had a lot of unpleasant dreams or dreams that you just simply can't recall, then check to see how it is that you're sleeping at night. Another thing I want to say regarding psychic mediums is that I don't encourage anyone to get caught up in consulting or really relying on, depending on any form of psychic medium, simply because it is turning your attention outward. It's not allowing you to trust the process of life, to relinquish control, and simply it's not allowing you to heighten your own intuitive skills, your own intuitive gifts and abilities or psychic abilities, because you're having to tune into someone monthly or weekly to find out how your life is going to unfold. And often if this is a psychic medium that you've discovered online, then they're talking to a massive amount of people and not just you. So you're having to cherry pick what you feel is going to be useful information. So many people have ventured out. You've explored or experienced this in tuning into those who practice some form of psychic mediumship, and you know where that path leads, you know what that's about. So now that you've ventured out trying to seek and understand yourself, it's important that you return back to the source, return back to the self, reconnect with the God within, reinvigorate your own gifts, skills, and abilities as respect to your purpose here, that we all have a purpose. So for those who are channeling or using some form of mediumship connected to ancestors, angels, their guides, any type of being or deity or ascended master, it's important that you test the spirit behind this. If this is something you practice, always test the spirit to ensure that whoever you're listening to or whatever you're receiving is of a genuine nature and it's for your highest good. It's not connected to any form of self-interest, but it has more to do with your soul growth, your soul maturity, and what things can help you in life that are a reminder for you. Oftentimes things that we're told, if it resonates, it's really serving as a reminder. That's why it resonates, because you already knew that. But if it's something that's absolutely foreign, or you're just tuning in because it tickles your ears, this can be potentially dangerous, because you'll find yourself keep going back to that well, and those wells dry up. You want to return to the source of the living water within you that provides you with knowledge, insight, wisdom, intuition, guidance, and therefore you will find less and less dependency on anything outside of you. Nothing wrong with getting wisdom from others, nothing wrong with reading material here and there, but if we have a dependency on it, if we find ourselves feeling confused or absent-minded without these things, then that's when it can be very detrimental. So continue to hone in on your psychic abilities, safeguard yourself by doing practices that allow you to differentiate from what is of you versus what's from other people. Being in a calm environment is very important for those of you who are psychically sensitive. A lot of chaos, a lot of abuse of entertainment, drugs, alcohol. These things can really affect you mentally, and you want to have a sound mind anytime you're going to be assisting others or providing some type of healing modality to other people. So do what you need to do to cleanse your energy, and always respect your temple. That's where you're coming into and returning to when you're needing to process what you see, what you hear, what you're experiencing, and no one else can enter with you and decipher these things for you. This is a unique and personal experience, and you need to honor that. So I thank you guys for tuning in. If you are someone who is psychically inclined, you've had personal experiences, you're looking to heighten these abilities for yourself, share your experiences, share your insights. What do you do? Have you found any particular literature on the subject that others may find useful in helping to fine-tune this ability? Definitely share that. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and until next time, peace.